Hello, my name is Michaela and I will be doing food insecurity. Here is a brief overview of what will be to come in the following slides. First, I'll talk about food insecurity, and that's when there is limited or uncertain access to adequate food. I also found USDA had done an 18-question survey about having food in the house. Then we'll talk about how it plays a role socially, the economic impact it has, and then I had also found a project by Small Plate that followed the lives of 5 people for 6 months in the metropolitan Detroit area and surrounding places. Also, the ethical issues involved and college student statistics. I also found an article of The New Face of Hunger from National Geographic. Here I'll go more into detail about the USDA's 18-question survey. This picture here is actually a couple of the questions that they ask in the format. 8 of the questions are focused on children, so if a household has no children, they would not have those questions. After all the questions have been answered, they will then break it down into 3 categories. You have high food secure, marginal food secure, low food secure, and very low food secure. So high food secure is when everyone had access to food and lived an active healthy lifestyle. Marginal food secure is when individuals had anxiety at times about food shortage, but did not change their diets or intake of food. Then you have the lower food securities, which are low food secure and very low food secure, and these will both depend on how many yeses they got, such as 3 to 7 responses for low food secure, or 8 or more responses for very low food secure. There is a lot that the social and economic impact has with food insecurity. For instance, location. In rural or urban areas, there is limited access to full-service supermarkets or grocery stores, especially in low-income neighborhoods. According to Impacts of Hunger on the Economy, every pediatric hospital visit costs $12,000. And looking at this long term, this makes healthcare costs rise among other things. Also, $130.5 billion is due to illness costs linked to hunger and food insecurity. Then a couple of different things from this picture, as you can see, is that it correlates of the more the poverty rate rises, so does unemployment, and the amount that people are buying in homes decreases. Also, you have 3,143 counties in the United States that are estimated to be food insecure. 17 million of them are children. A couple of these different statistics on here are really mind-boggling and eye-opening to know that that many people struggle with food insecurities. On this slide here, I have pictures of the people that they interviewed and followed for 6 months. The very bottom one is Willie Smith, and she's 74 and lives in Detroit and gets around in a power chair. Then the next picture up is Jeffrey Stevens, and he is 52 and lives in Howell, which is a surrounding suburb from Detroit. He's currently on disability and is trying to pay his bills while getting food as well. Then you have Naidra Dow, and she's 35 and married with kids and lives in Pontiac, and uses all the sources possible to help her, such as SNAP and food pantries nearby, everything that she can have to help. Then you have J.B. Hillman Rushtel. She's 63 and moved from Georgia to Detroit to take care of her 83-year-old mother who has dementia. She does everything possible to try to keep herself healthy as well as making sure her mother is okay. The top picture is Sandra Davis, and she is 53 and lives in Harper Woods, another surrounding suburb of Detroit, with her 3 adult children and grandson, while also working 2 jobs. But neither one of those jobs give her benefits, so she has no insurance. Here's a couple of quotes that they shared in their stories, and it's really astonishing to see how much these people struggle each month, and knowing that even the ones with SNAP, that it's not enough to get an adequate amount of food each month. In this slide here, I will go a little bit more into the ethical issues and share with you this picture of college student statistics with food insecurity. So first we have beneficence, and this is an issue because beneficence is meant to help people in need, and when you don't know where your next meal will come from, it's kind of difficult. Then you have non-maleficence, and this is an issue because there is supposed to be no harm to the person, but when they are lacking the proper nutrition or are not getting enough food, this will affect their health and cause problems in the long term. Then you also have justice, and the issue with this is the decision of choosing who gets what and who doesn't, which in the event of food has a huge impact on many things like buying things, medicine, and bills. And then here with this picture is only a little bit of statistics of how much college students suffer, which is why food pantries are becoming more and more common on college campuses, such as the one we have at Monmouth. In this slide here, I'll talk about The New Face of Hunger by Tracy McMillan, and I found this article on National Geographic. So with this here, she shared a couple of stories from people all over of them facing food insecurity. The first one is Christina Dreyer and her son Keegan. She only gets $1.72 a month from SNAP and relies on the food pantry too. She often worries if she will have enough food to feed her kids. Then you have Jacqueline Christian and her 2 sons Jazarin and Jeremiah. They are living in a homeless shelter and get $3.25 a month in SNAP, but she worries about not having food for half the year. By the way they look, by their clothes and everything else, you wouldn't see their hardship at first, but everything is from discount stores. Then here, these 2 pictures depict all the different areas in Houston and in the United States that face great poverty or even very heavy food insecurity.